All right, I'm going to introduce our guest in the studio today. We have Brittany Simpson, digital marketing strategist of Site Strategics.
Live from the basket basin.
Basket Basin, whatever that is. The basin of the basket, Silicon Prairie. That's a classic.
It's new. Everyone start using it. Hashtag basket basin.
It's kind of like an inception. There's basins, and you can put baskets in them. And in one way, shape, or form, there's a hearth here. I'm trying to get there. You're
Basket
not really
basin.
helping me, are you? And Mel McMahon-Stone,
Hi.
co-founder of Indiana Originals. Hi there.
Thanks for having me
You
in
are
your
more-
basket basin.
Not gonna let
I've
that
never
one
heard
go.
of us called Silicon Prairie, but I can think of why.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm honored.
Already across the desk, just taking some jabs.
I'm just having fun.
Oh,
Isn't that
my
what you're all
God.
about? Having
Yeah.
fun?
Not making fun of the host as part of the show, but hey, it's all right.
I'm
As you've
sorry.
It's all right. It's all right. It's always nice to have friends of the show. Thanks for being here, Mel. You're the founder of Indiana Originals,
Yeah.
the original basket basin.
Yes. That's what we want in our basket, all those originals.
Oh, dear.
Tell us all about it.
Yeah, so Indiana Originals is a growing statewide directory of locally owned and operated businesses that originate right here in Indiana. So lots of people want to buy local and shop local and use local, but oftentimes identifying local isn't that easy. And if you can't find it, it's not really convenient. And supporting local really isn't just a trend or a fad.
Right.
I mean, it's imperative. And so at Indiana Originals, we try to connect people who want to support local with those local businesses. And then we give our members, those business owners, resources to make money, save money, and find new customers.
Okay.
Let's say I wanted to search for local baskets.
You did it. See?
You can find those at indianaoriginals.com and on our app.
No.
I might even be able to find somebody to make you a silicone one.
You see what's going on here? All right, so why is it an imperative? I'm just going to play with you here. Why is it an imperative to choose local? Now, we talk about this on the show all the time. All right. Why is it an imperative?
Well, local business owners do a lot more for the community than people even realize. There's a private research firm out east called Civic Economics, and they did 12 different studies trying to find the impact of local. And they found some amazing discoveries. One is that local Indiana original business owners put 3 to 5 times more money back into the local economy as opposed to a national franchise or a national chain. So what that means is more money for infrastructure, more money for schools, health and wellness. They also found that communities that have more local businesses that are more unique obviously attract more people. Attracts more dollars,
Right.
attracts more tourism. The more sidewalks you have in your neighborhood, the healthier people are because then they're incentivized to walk places. There's a direct link between the number of local businesses in your neighborhood and the physical health and mental health of the people that live there. Because that usually means more jobs, usually means more resources. It usually means more community building.
Right.
And local non-for-profits get 250% more donations from local business owners than they do from national foundations. That's huge. That's a huge impact.
That is fantastic.
So when you're supporting local, you're really affecting your quality of life.
That's awesome. So your directory has more than 200 members, is that right?
Yes.
And they run the gamut. Like every kind of business you could ever possibly think of is represented in this directory.
Like
so tell
baskets.
us more about all the baskets.
All the baskets. There's all the baskets for you.
Can you tell us more about like the range of businesses that you represent?
Yeah, when a lot of people think local, they immediately think of restaurants. They immediately think of boutiques, and we have those too. But what we try to show people is that it's easy to live a local lifestyle from the moment you wake up in the morning to the moment you go to bed at night. So the mattress that you're sleeping on could be made right here in Indiana. Those children's books you're reading your kids at night could be made right here in Indiana. And so we have things on IndianaOriginals.com that you can use for your everyday needs, not just special occasions or not just gifts. And we have a lot of business owners that are really, taking their side hustles, leaving corporate and they're using those talents to create their own businesses too. So everything from, marketing firms to website builders to CPAs to lawyers, we have things that you can use all the time, not just, on a night out or
Right.
I need to go buy something for somebody.
Mother's Day or something.
Exactly. Exactly.
All right. Local has something else as an importance to community. This is all economic value. This is all just waking people up to what local business really what their role is and what they mean in the fabric of the entire society. But On the eyes of the consumer, on the consumer side, there is a new pursuit of choosing local, and we talked about that a while back. Why are consumers wanting to connect locally as opposed to that corporate franchise or that corporate business? Because you've cited some studies in that as well, haven't you?
Yeah, there's a lot of different reasons that people are supporting local now. Some are really just hopping on the bandwagon. It's cool to do that. Hashtag shop local. You see it everywhere. You see the T-shirts. And so there is a coolness factor now. And I would like to clarify that we came up for the idea for Indiana Originals in 2012. So it wasn't that cool yet. But we're really excited that it's getting cool too. There's also a community of people who they know other local business owners. They know the owner, Pat Sullivan of Sullivan Hardware and Garden.
Yep.
They know Aaron, Site Strategics. They're going to be more inclined to use you because they know you.
Mm-hmm.
There's also a generation of people that are really just being more conscious of where their money is going because of their experiences with big corporations.
Right.
Might have been a layoff. It may have been, a private education that is given them just student loans they can't get underneath, or can't get out from.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of different reasons that people are shopping local. But what you're seeing is the more we learn about where those dollars are going, and the more conscious people are getting,
Yep.
the more they're going to pay attention to that. And it's really interesting, going to a school with, maybe younger kids or even, more millennials and explaining this, they get really, really excited about it. And then if I go speak to a Kiwanis group or a Rotary Club, they're like, well, why aren't people still doing that? Because that's how it used to be.
Exactly. Yeah.
Living local was really your only option. But with increased, e-commerce and just more globalization, it's much harder to shop local now. And it's not always the most convenient or the cheapest, which are always factors in purchases as well.
You've got that corporate edifice out there, and even in today's society where social media accounts and the review mentality that people have, they can brandish their viewpoint, but it's still kind of it doesn't get embraced by the national corporate America. But they know they can be taken care of by that local business, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's that one-to-one relationship that we used to have 30, 40 years ago. And now the pendulum's swinging right back in the digital space. Now you have the ability to communicate to so many people right from your computer, but you still need that direct personal touch, right?
Yeah, and social media has really, it can really make or break a business. And we had an experience, my husband and I, at a local restaurant a week and a half ago. And it really was an awful experience. And I did say something about it on social media.
Mm-hmm.
I did not say the name of the restaurant. I didn't say where it was located. I did not give that away. But I shared the experience because the customer service was atrocious, and that's what needed to be addressed. And so it was more of a learning opportunity in general. Well, what happened is somebody figured out who it was. But instead of stating it, they contacted someone they knew that worked there. So the vice president of that company called me directly. And we were able to talk about what happened and give them positive feedback. They addressed the situation right away. They were able to talk to the manager and find out what happened. They figured out exactly where I sat, so they knew what server to talk to figure out what was going on. And they embraced that feedback. Mm. And I guarantee when we go in, we're not going to have that bad of an experience again because they took it seriously. Now, the positive is that I didn't say online who it was going to be.
Right.
The other positive is that someone did figure it out and we resolved the situation. But there is evidence and research that shows that people take negative reviews more seriously and embrace them more than anything positive. Right. If you share something negative about somebody, it can go viral in no time. You try to share a good story or a positive one, you're going to have to share it, 5, 10 times more to get that point across. And so that social media connection can really bring business owners and their customers closer together. But the business owner also has to be responsive and willing to correct that situation. And the customer also needs to be careful about what they're sharing about their situation, because if they're really trying to help that local business, they could do more harm than good.
I have a good example of this too. So just yesterday, one of my favorite local shops, the shop Indy, I ordered a shirt. I ordered 2 shirts, one for me and one for my husband, and so it got shipped and only one of them came. So I tweeted to them yesterday with a stupid gif, oops. And I just said, like, oops, looks like only one of the shirts arrived. Within literally 30 seconds, they tweeted me back and were like, oh, we're going to place this in the mail today. Thanks so much. And like sent me another stupid gift. And it was awesome. Like it was before I parked my car and before I got upstairs, they had already responded. And I thought, like, good
There
for
it
you,
is.
local business. Like that's exactly what you should be doing. And it makes me like them so much more.
It does. And I always say, if something great happened, tell the world. If something bad happened, tell the owner.
Absolutely. And I do want to implore our local audience who's watching the show, and that's part of it right here, is to be able to ask. I mean, Mel's right here. We certainly want to have you ask some questions as we're streaming right now. That's part of what the Edgecast here is, at Edge of Indy. But I do want to come back around to this concept of the local and the responsibility of the company, but also the responsibility of that consumer. You had a filter, right? You were filtering yourself of not brandishing that brand out there.
Yes.
That was you had that level of maturity. Okay. There's so much that the consumer needs to learn in this space. Companies, both national and local, are getting flogged regularly without any type of responsibility on that consumer, right? So they're a bit standoffish whenever it comes down to engaging into that local communication or that review communication.
Yes.
Since you have local businesses regularly working with you, do you help them understand their kind of communication responsibility when it gets down to these type of issues?
Yes. And the challenge of reviews online is that, one, you don't always have the full story.
Yeah.
Two, if the problem was resolved, you don't get stars back for that.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And three, often the resolution is going to be very far down in the comments if there was interaction.
Yep.
So one thing I always advise our local business owners to do is to stay on top of those sites. If you're not doing it, find someone to do it for you. Something that does make IndianaOriginals.com unique is we don't do reviews. And that is, one, we're not endorsing anybody over another one. But two, our members have asked us not to because they have so many sites that they have to manage already.
Anyway. Yeah.
Adding another one is really not going to be helpful. It's just going to be more cumbersome. So you do have to be responsive to those messages. And if it's simply, thank you for the message, please contact us at this number,
Right.
That's fine. You do not have to put the resolution online. You do not have to have the interaction online. I've seen so many business owners go back and forth with customers, and it's not anything you would say to someone in person.
It's not a good look on anyone. Yeah.
No,
It's
and
like when
it's
you're
like watching a train wreck. It really is.
It is. And you have so many eyes on it and no one has the full story. And it's like when you're driving down the road and somebody cuts you off or you see them swerve over and you just have this angst and that you're just angry and you're so mad at them. But then when you both get to the red light and you look over and you see that person's face,
Mm-hmm.
you just go, oh, okay. And you just kind of shake it off.
Right.
Well, the internet is kind of that same thing. That person is not face to face. You do not see them.
That's right.
And so we actually have a different reaction to just seeing a picture than we do a face to face human being.
It doesn't have like a natural ebb and flow and what do you want to call it? A reduction of that fervor. Yeah,
there's no context. There's no facial expressions. You're making a lot of assumptions about the tone.
Yep.
And so I always advise business owners just acknowledge that you received the message and then take it offline.
Yeah.
No matter what, just take it offline.
Absolutely.
And if something great does happen, ask that person to post that it was resolved.
No, we recommend that highly whenever we're working with our clients in from a local standpoint. How do you go about? And I'll say, ask one more question about that type of relationship. It is very, very important, especially the entire concept of the thank you economy and making sure that you appreciate from a business standpoint that local business, because the fact that it's not just about hoping that they come back and actually transact with you again. The viral nature, the brand is so much supported by just that pleasantry and that true authentic appreciation of that business. It goes a mile wide because there are so many people that one person knows, right? Do you help empower and talk to those businesses on how to get into that type of embracement?
Yeah, we offer more than just the sticker or the directory listing or the app. You know, there's a lot of services that Indiana Originals offers as well, and you can see those at IndianaOriginals.com, but consulting is one of those. The customer experience is huge, and that's really one of my specialties, because especially when you have a small marketing budget, that experience the customer has, that is your advertising.
Yep.
Because they're going to walk out, and again, if they had a great experience, they might tell one or two people. If they had a bad experience, they're going to tell 20.
Or the whole internet.
or the entire online
It can
universe.
get lit up. It really can.
Yeah, it can be, and it's just, there's really no saving it after that. And so we do a lot of customer experience training. We have, different mixers where we invite members into our another member's location, and we can give that owner feedback right there.
Oh, cool.
How was the food? How was the service? If you had a great experience, share that online. There's a lot of different things that
That's
we can
cool.
do to help local businesses of all different sizes.
I love it. I could talk about this all day.
Oh yeah, I mean, it absolutely is a great thing, and you do need to, as we're talking to potential members, you need to check out IndianaOriginals.com because there's so much good information there. And as soon as you start seeing all the different members that are there, he's like, oh wow, yeah, I could actually plan a trip, and you can start seeing the pathways that you could do inside of Indianapolis. How do you help promote your members on a regular basis?
Well, this is a perfect example.
Cool.
So coming on shows like this, promoting Indiana Originals and what we're doing. We have Expo and Marketplace events. We actually have one coming up Saturday at Hamilton Town Center.
I was going to ask you that next.
We're part of we're part of the Hamilton Fall Festival. So we'll be set up in front of Dick's Sporting Goods. Lots of Indiana Originals members there, so you'll know right away that you're supporting local.
Cool.
We have a regular radio segment on 93 WIBC Sunday mornings at 10:45. We bring in a new Indiana Originals member every weekend to showcase what they're doing. We're regularly on Indy Style, and we do stuff with Fox 59 as well. And we also do a lot of referrals for our members. So we really try to get our members to become each other's customers, as well as find them customers that are not business owners.
You know what?
What?
We're going to become a member as well.
Yay!
Yes,
I love that.
absolutely. We love what you're doing. We do. I want to put you on the spot here and give a shout out to one of your most recent members.
Sure.
So,
Me?
Yeah,
I can give a shout out?
You absolutely can.
My goodness. Well, the most recent member that we had sign up was Mrs. Murray's Naturals. Have you heard of Mrs. Murray's Naturals?
Please tell me more.
They are a maker of vegan items and vegan food. So it's very, very specialty. They don't have a store, but they're in lots of different retailers. They do lots of different farmers markets. We just had a member mixer at the Blue Lagoon Jamaican Kitchen, which they just opened a brick and mortar location on Pendleton Pike near Oak Landon Road. I could go on and on and on. Vine and Branch in Carmel, they make beautiful furniture out of scrap Indiana wood. So they're known for their arborist work and cutting down trees. And they're like, what do we do with all this wood? Well, let's make beautiful furniture out of it. So they're going to be at our marketplace on Saturday.
Which is free, by the way.
It is free. Admission is free. Live music, beer, food, professional pumpkin carving.
Beer.
You can decorate cupcakes with your kids while having a beer. I mean, it's going to be tons of fun. And did I mention there's an amusement park there too? Like Ferris wheels and stuff. Like it's a legit fall festival.
Very cool.
We're really excited to be there. We have 207 Indiana Originals members, so we don't have time for me to list all of them. But I mean, Comfort Option, they make foam mattresses right here in Indiana. We have, the Rugged Company that makes men's products and clothing and accessories out of Noblesville. We have Poppy's Petals in Jasper, Indiana. They make bracelets out of flower petals. So maybe it was a wedding or a funeral, just want to have a keepsake. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. Children's books, Roxy Morgan out of Carmel, Indiana. She writes children's books. Some of my kids' favorite. He's named Everything George after a snowman, one of her characters.
Oh, George.
I mean, it's
Now,
pretty awesome what you can find
I said
there.
I said one shout out.
1,000.
And I don't listen well. My husband will vouch for that.
Well,
I don't
listen
take
to
direction well.
this. Hey, you work alongside a lot of different Indiana businesses, right? What about Indy do you actually find special when it comes down to our business community?
I grew up in Irvington on the east side, and I really appreciated that I could walk everywhere. They have the sidewalks, they had the parks. You could get almost everything you needed right there. And it has changed a lot. It's ebbed and flowed over the years, and it's really coming back as a community. And we have some great neighborhoods in Indianapolis that I think we really are starting to embrace more. You go to Chicago, you ask someone where they live, they give you their neighborhood name. You say here, we're like, near 86th and Michigan Road. Like you get an intersection.
Right.
And so we're really starting to embrace those neighborhoods and really get those neighborhood identities back.
Hear, hear.
And that is really what is going to make a difference for the people of Indianapolis of all different socioeconomic levels, of all different races and ages, and really, just embracing your neighbors is something that we're really moving towards again. And I think that's what's going to really make Indianapolis stand out, especially when they are trying to attract some amazing businesses to this state.
Should we each shout out our own neighborhoods That would be nice.
Absolutely.
Okay, what's yours?
Meadow Bend. Actually, that's like a very, very small. We're Southside Beach Grove, kind of ish, just north of Johnson County.
Say it with pride.
Yeah, you're making my point right there. You're making my point.
I know.
Because go ahead.
I'm going to shout out South Broad Ripple.
There you go.
I love it.
I'm not even sure what mine's called.
What?
I know. I live in
What do you want to call
the
it?
opposite of everything I promote.
Let's call it something, whatever you want to call it.
You can't go about naming things.
Yes, you can.
Well, we'll name it Indiana Originals. How about that?
Done.
We're in the Crooked Creek area.
There you go.
I'm not sure what the boundaries are for that, but it's called Crooked Creek.
Right.
Do you want to call it the corner of Crooked Creek?
I think we literally are on the corner of Crooked Creek, so that could probably work out well.
Can you tell us a little bit about your upcoming holiday expo and marketplace?
Yes.
Because, it's like basically Christmas now.
It feels like it. It feels like if you go into big retail stores, it pretty much is. Halloween's my favorite holiday. Let's enjoy that.
Yeah.
And then we can move on to Christmas. But coming up on Shop Small Saturday, we are having our Indiana Originals Holiday Expo and Marketplace downtown on Monument Circle.
Sweet.
We'll be in the MS Communications building the day after the tree lighting. And we will have 40 different local businesses there that you can do some of your holiday shopping with. Santa Claus will be there. You can get your picture taken. We're going to have drinks. We'll have some food. We're blocking off that curb lane, so we'll have some boutiques and food trucks and stuff on the circle as well.
Sounds
and
fun.
It is going to be wonderful. I'm so excited about it.
Is there beer?
There will be beer, yes.
Beer.
There's always a foundation.
I
there.
pretty much have beverages at every event that I do.
That's why you're my friend.
I'm hospitable.
Yes, you are. That you are.
That you are. Hey, it's great to be able to see something organically grown like this here in Indianapolis and Indiana. We certainly appreciate that type of focus that you're giving local businesses. And how can you kind of prod other communities, other cities across the country to do just that? Have you seen some of this happen before across the country?
There are some county-focused programs and some city-focused programs, but one of the reasons we were very particular about naming Indiana Originals is because we are trying to attract people that aren't familiar with your area to your area. So the vision is that if you're going up to South Bend, you can open up the Indiana Originals app and see what Indiana Originals members are there. You can do the same thing if you're going to Bloomington or Jasper or Ferdinand, Indiana. They say Ferdinand, but it's Ferdinand.
Where's that?
It's about 2.5 hours south. So if you're going to Holiday World, you go south off of 64 to get to Ferdinand. You go north.
Shout out, Ferdinand.
Shout out to the Sisters of St. Benedict. Thank you for everything that you did. My parents don't want their money back, but that's okay.
All right, Mel, tell us how we can connect with Indiana Originals. You did it before, but let's go through all the places.
IndianaOriginals.com is our website. You can also get in touch with us through our app. We are on Facebook. We are on Instagram. We are on Twitter. We are on Pinterest. And we're like the first 17 pages of an Indiana Originals Google search. So if you cannot find us, you are not trying that hard.
Try harder. Do better.
Yeah, it's really easy to get a hold of us. And we're very responsive to messages on Facebook as well. So that's pretty easy.
Excellent. Well, we certainly want to give a challenge out to Indiana businesses is get on Indiana Originals and participate as well. Just don't be there as a company. It's a community. And there's interchange, there's exchange, there's communication that's happening all over Indiana Original socials and the things, right?
Yes, all over the place. And something really important, too, that we try to promote is, business owners are saying, shop local, support local, use local. Well, you as the business owner, make sure you're doing the same.
Yeah.
Live what you preach.
Exactly.
Yep.
Absolutely. All right. Well, we're going to be talking to one of those local companies coming up right real quick. But thank you so much, Mel,
Thanks,
for
Mel. Do you want to give him
stopping
a
in.
sticker?
Thank you for having me. I brought you a present.
Oh, do I get a sticker?
You do. You get a support local sticker.
Sweet.
We'll be handing those out on Saturday.
We are absolutely going to throw that on the front of our building.
Oh, well, when you become a member, you
Right,
get a
we can't-
member
we
sticker.
can't yet.
Oh, we can't yet.
You get a member sticker.
I'll just put it on my basket bin.
Yeah. So if you're looking for local, look for the logo.
Look for baskets.
I'll make you a basket. I'll have a basket made for you. How about that?
Absolutely. Hey, we got to talk about. I appreciate it. I'm just going to ignore it and keep on going. we got to talk about doing some sort of showcase of Indiana Originals here on Edge of Indy because there's such a parallel of what we're doing here. So
Yes.
let's talk here in the near future about what we can do to sew some of that in here.
I'd love that. And you just said that in front of a giant audience. So it has to become true.
Built-in accountability.
That's the only way I can actually keep track of my stuff. I just promise it on the show.
I completely know the feeling.